Hey guys, it's Jez here from Windows Central Gaming, back with another video with some exclusive details on Xbox's next-gen consoles. With an S? Stay tuned. This week saw a flurry of new Xbox details emerge from a variety of places. However, I've also been doing some of my own digging, and I've got some fresh details on exactly what Xbox's Gen 10 console might look like. I reported last year that the next-gen Xbox is going to be a PC in essence. Going to run full Windows, which means it'll support Steam, Epic Game Store, and the rest of it. We actually spoke to Epic Game Store VP Steve Allison last week, who commented that Epic Games will be there day one if Xbox does allow for third-party stores. But since the next Xbox is just a PC, it's pretty much a definitive lock-in. But when exactly is the next-gen console launching? Well, interestingly, AMD CEO Lisa Su last week made some comments to investors, which sparked a flurry of fresh speculation. Development of Microsoft's next-gen Xbox featuring an AMD semi-custom SoC is progressing well to support a launch in 2027. Those are the comments Lisa Su made to investors, but how accurate are they? I was told that Microsoft insiders were a little bit surprised by Lisa Su's comments. I've been reporting for a while that Microsoft was targeting a 2027 kind of landing strip for the next-gen Xbox. However, that is like a best-case scenario. Microsoft itself hasn't fully internally committed to 2027, since so much of it hinges on improvements to Windows 11 and other factors. Microsoft's Windows and Xbox teams are collaborating harder than ever to get the OS in shape for a polished console-like experience on Xbox, and as a result, they're not forcing themselves to adhere to a specific hard cutoff. You can think of 2027 as the best case scenario, but having a polished experience is absolutely the North Star for Xbox. Another question I get about the next-gen Xbox pertains to how much this thing will cost. There are lots of rumors that this thing could be anywhere up to or beyond $1,000, which, potentially could price a lot of people out of the hobby. It does sound as though the next-gen Xbox is going to be a premium kind of experience. This is going to be a hybridized kind of system, which has support for Xbox's back catalog, so everything that's compatible on your Xbox Series X, which includes Xbox One games, Xbox 360 games in backwards compatibility, and even original Xbox games in backwards compatibility. All those games will be playable on the Gen 10 Xbox. However, it's also going to be able to run full Windows, so it's going to be able to support Steam, Epic Game Store, Good Old Games, whatever other apps kind of become optimized for controller. Or if they're not optimized for controller, you'll be able to plug in a mouse and keyboard and play the games like that, right? So because this is basically a PC in essence, we can kind of accept the kind of interfacing that a PC has. We can expect things like multiple USB ports, USB-C ports, maybe even Thunderbolt ports, maybe Bluetooth, all these kind of things which aren't necessarily typically associated with console, but are more often associated with PC. But all those extra parts push the price up, right? So if this is a PC in essence, then we can expect a pre-built PC kind of price point, right? That might be true for Xbox's first-party offering, but what I've confirmed via trusted sources is that Microsoft is going to allow this SoC, which AMD has codenamed Magnus, to be utilized by traditional Windows OEMs. So companies like Asus, Razer, Dell, Lenovo could potentially play a role in this ecosystem. They might be building their own Xbox hardware, some of them perhaps with less bells and whistles, some of them with perhaps lower performance targets and that kind of thing. So even if the main Xbox next-gen console is pretty expensive, we could see a plethora of Xbox devices from a range of companies targeting all kinds of price points and all kinds of market conditions. We've already seen a sort of Xbox-branded PC from Asus with the Xbox Ally, and I'm told as well that despite rumors to the contrary, Microsoft actually does want to eventually make its own first-party handheld as well, although the Gen 10 normal console device is the focus for now. This is without a doubt Microsoft's most ambitious Xbox hardware plan yet. The fact that not only do we have a hybridized chip which will allow for like a more open gaming experience than Xbox has ever delivered before, you'll be able to install anything on this thing. You'll be able to run Microsoft Office and do your homework or Adobe Premiere and edit videos like this, or turn it into a music production studio. You'll be able to do anything with the next-gen Xbox, much like you will be able to do anything with a Windows desktop PC. but this is first and foremost going to be a console based on the Xbox full screen experience, which is available on devices like the Xbox Ally and also available for insiders on Windows right now to test. This is a sort of console first like experience. It prioritizes controller and TVs and sofa gaming and also ease of use. The full screen experience shuts down tasks that aren't really necessary for gaming to prioritize performance, right? The problem is the Xbox full screen experience as it exists today in 2026 isn't the most polished experience in the universe. The Xbox operating system as it exists today on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X and X is extremely polished. I only wrote a couple of weeks ago about how a Windows update broke the Xbox Ally, and Nvidia has also been warning PC gamers that a recent Windows update has lowered performance on some of its GPUs due to bugs. This is not the kind of experience that we want to have with a console, and I think Microsoft knows that. And that's why they haven't fully internally committed to a 2027 launch window. They absolutely need to get the polish where it needs to be and change how Windows is run potentially in order to make sure that this next-gen platform actually performs as people want and expect. If Microsoft does pull it off, it has a huge amount of potential. Companies that have a better understanding of regional markets might build Xbox consoles which allow Xbox as a platform to penetrate into regions and markets where Microsoft historically has had very poor performance. That means more players, more money for developers, more games, which means more players. It's potentially a virtuous cycle that the current Xbox hasn't been able to deliver without the brute force of a Game Pass deal or other kind of deals where Microsoft basically pays companies to bring their content across. But will Microsoft be able to pull it off? That's the billion-dollar question, or well, multi-billion-dollar question. Microsoft's corporate focus revolves entirely around artificial intelligence and cloud right now. So you have to wonder how much of a runway Microsoft corporate is actually giving Xbox to achieve some of this stuff. But if Xbox does get the time it needs and delivers the polish that Windows needs, I think this could be an absolutely amazing move for Xbox, and it could change everything. I've been Jez for Windows Central. If you like this video, please give it a like, and also check out the article in the description for more detail about what's coming to Xbox in the coming weeks. Thanks a ton for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.